The Sparrow and the Rain. In the small village near the edge of the peaceful forest, there lived a little sparrow named Sammy. Sunny was a cheerful bird with soft brown feathers and a bright, chirpy voice. One day, Sunny was flying through the village. She noticed dark clouds gathering in the sky. The wind began to blow harder. As the first drop of rain began to fall, Sunny quickly felt towards the large tree where she often rested. The strong wind waved through the branches and the rain pounded down, soaking everything. Sunny clung tightly to the branch, feeling cold water on her feathers. As she looked down, Sunny spotted a family of small young sparrows huddled together in a nearby bush. Sunny felt a pang of concern for them. She fluttered over to the family, with her small wings battling the wind and rain. Hello, Sunny chirped, trying to sound calm and reassured. The rain is too strong here. I know a safer spot where you can stay warm and dry. The mother sparrow looked up at Sunny, her eyes filled with worry. Thank you, Sunny. We are afraid to move in this storm. But we'll follow you if you think it's safe. Sunny nodded. Stay close to me, I'll guide you. With a great care, Sunny led the family through the rain and wind. She kept looking back, making sure they were closer behind. As they reached the barn, Sunny flew inside first, making it sure it was safe. Inside it was warm and dry, with piles of hay and made soft places to rest. Thank you, Sunny, the mother sparrow said, her voice filled with relief. You have very brave to come out to help us. Sunny felt proud, but she didn't stop there. She thought about all the other animals who might also their need. Outside, the storm was still raging. Rain poured down. As she flew through the village, she noticed a small hare duck and curled up under the brush trying to stay dry. Hello, hedgehog, Sunny chirped, landing beside him. There's a dry barren nearby where you can stay warm. The hedgehog looked up, surprised by Sunny's kindness. Oh, thank you, Sunny. I didn't know anyone would come here out in the storm to help me. Follow me, Sunny said, smiling. I'll take you there. Sunny flew slowly. Sunny continued her search. Soon she spotted a tiny mouse struggling to climb onto a dry branch. Come with me, little mouse, Sunny called. I'll show you where you can stay dry. The mouse followed Sunny. By the time Sunny returned to the barren after her search, many small animals had gathered inside, each one of safe and dry and thankful to her effort. One of the youngest sparrow chirped, Sunny, you're a hero. You saved all of us. Sunny felt her heart was swelling in happiness. Her mother sparrow spoke gently. You risked yourself to help others, Sunny. You showed us all that true bravery is not just about facing danger, but about caring those in need. As storm finally began to calm, Sunny looked around her friends and said, helping others make me feel happy and strong. Sometimes bravery is as simple about being there and about needed the most. When the storm ended, the animals returned to their homes, grateful for Sunny's help. And the brave little sparrow, continued to fly through the village each day, her heart filled with joy, knowing that she could make a difference in the lives of others. She understood that true bravery was about caring others, no matter how small or big the challenges. The moral of the story is, kids, true bravery is about helping others, being kind even in difficult times, and the kind heart can bring shelter and warmth to those in need. So, kids, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. The wise old advice. In a deep green forest, there lived an old owl named Oliver. He had a big round eyes, soft grey feathers, and a calm voice. All animals in the forest respected him because he always gave best advice. Oliver lived in a tall oak tree, watching over the forest. Whenever the animals had a problem, they would visit him, and he would guide them with his wisdom. One day, a young fox named Felix came over to Oliver. Felix was clever but obviously impatient. He wanted to be the smartest animal in the forest, but he never listened to others. Oliver, I want to be the most intelligent animal in the forest. Can you teach me? Felix asked proudly. Oliver smiled. Wisdom is not about knowing everything, Felix. It's about thinking before you act and learning from others. Felix laughed. That sounds too slow. I want to be wise quickly. Oliver shook his head. Patience, young one. Let me tell you a story. Once there were two little mice who lived near a river. Oliver began. One day they found a big basket of grain left by a farmer. The first mouse said, let's take as much as we want and eat it all. But second mouse tell, let's save for some later, and we don't hungry for the future. Felix listened carefully. Oliver continued. The first mouse did not listen and ate everything at once. But when the winter came, he had nothing, and the second mouse was safe and happy. Felix frowned. So the second mouse were wiser because he thought ahead. Oliver nodded. Yes, wisdom means thinking about future, not just the present. Felix thought about Oliver's words, but was still impatient. That's just a story. I want to prove my intelligence now. Oliver smiled. Very well. Tomorrow you will face a test. Felix was excited. I will be ready. The next morning, Felix saw a basket full of food near the tree. Oh, feast just for me, he thought, running toward it. But it was just as about to take food, Oliver hooted from his tree. Felix, wait. Think before you act. Felix stopped and looked closer. He realized that the basket was trapped by hunters. If he had rushed in, he would be have caught. Felix gasped. Oliver, you were right. If I had not listened to you, I would have been trapped. Oliver smiled. Wisdom is not about speed, Felix. It's about thinking carefully before making any choice. Felix bowed his head. Thank you, Oliver. From now, I will be patient and use my intelligence wisely. From that day on, Felix became known not for just his cleverness, but also for his wisdom. He listened to others, thought before he acted, and helped young animals learn from his experience. And whenever he faced a problem, he remembered the wise old advice. Think before you act, wisdom will follow. Moral of the story is kids, wisdom comes from patience. Think carefully and learn from others. So kids, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. The Generous Hen and the Selfish Duck. Once upon a time, in a small farm near a peaceful village, there lived a kind hen named Henny and a proud duck named Dobby. Henny was generous hen who loved to help others. She shared foods, helped other farmers to collect grains, and always cared for her fellow animal. Dobby, on the other hand, was selfish duck. He only thought about himself and never shared anything to anyone. He loved to show off his beautiful feathers and always looked down on the others. Henny and Dobby lived near each other, but they were different in nature. Every morning, Henny woke up early and helped the farmer's wife to collect grains from the barn. She always looked only what she needed and left home for other animals. One day, little Sparrow came flying to her. Henny, my babies are hungry. I cannot find enough food. Can you help me? Henny smiled warmly. Of course, take some of my grains, she said, and shared her food happily. The sparrow thanked her and flew away with joy. Dobby, who was watching, laughing, why do you share your food, Henny? You should keep everything to yourself, he said. Henny shook her head. When we help others, happiness comes back to us, she replied. Dobby did not believe her and continued to live for himself. One summer, a terrible drought hit the farm. The land dried and the river shrank. The farmer struggled to grow crops and food became scarce. Henny, who always helped leave a little extra grain, still had enough food, but Dobby had not saved anything because he only thought about himself. One evening, Dobby felt hungry. He searched food everywhere, but there was none. He was Henny eating her grains and walked up to her. Henny, I am very hungry. Can you please share some food with me? Dobby asked. Henny looked at him kindly. Of course, Dobby. Here are some grains, she said and gave it to him. Dobby was surprised. Even after I have taught you and laughed at you, are you still helping me? Henny smiled. Kindness is for everyone, Dobby. When we help others, we spread happiness. Dobby felt ashamed and selfishness. I was wrong, Henny. I should have spared and helped others like you. From now on, I will not be selfish, he promised. When the rainy season returned, the farmer became green again. Dobby started sharing his food with others. And others day, Dobby and Honey became best of friends, spreading kindness together. The moral of the story is, kids, sharing and kindness makes the world a better place, while selfishness leads to loneliness. I hope this story you will surely like it, kids. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. The Elephant and the Clever Duck, a tale of friendship. Once upon a time, in a lush green forest, there lived a big elephant named Ellie. Ellie was kind hearted but oftenly clumsy. He would accordingly knock over small bushes or step on tiny flowers without realizing it. In the same forest, there lived a clever little duck named Daisy. Daisy was quick and smart. She always knew how to find the best berries and safest place to set it. One sunny morning, Ellie, walking along the riverbank, humming a cheerful tune, suddenly his big foot got stuck in the muddy patch. The more he tried to pull it out, the deeper it sank. Ellie panicked and trumpeted loudly, hoping someone would near him. Daisy, who was swimming nearby, heard a loud voice and quickly vaulted over. "What's the matter, Ellie?" Daisy asked in her soft, chirpy voice. "Oh, Daisy, my foot's stuck in mud and I don't know what to do," Ellie replied, tears swelling up with big round eyes. Daisy thought for a moment. "Don't worry, Ellie, I will find a way to help you," she said confidently. Daisy knew that Ellie was too heavy to simply pull out of the mud. She needed to come up with a creative plan, and she looked around and noticed a strong vine hanging from a nearby tree. "Ellie, I have an idea. Hold on tight," Daisy said as she flew up to the tree and grabbed the vine. She tied one of the end of the vine around the Ellie's egg and other end to the sturdy rock nearby. "Now, Ellie, lean back and try to lift your foot slowly while I pull the vine from the side," Daisy instructed. Ellie did as Daisy said with a lot of effort. His foot finally came free. Ellie toppled loudly with the joy. "Thank you, Daisy. You are so clever. I don't know what would happen without you." Ellie smiled widely. "That's what friends do, Ellie. We help each other." Few days later, as Ellie and Daisy were walking through the forest together, they heard a loud noise coming from the river. They rushed to see what was that. To their surprise, they saw that a group of small animals, including rabbits, squirrels, were trapped on the tiny island middle of the river. The water level had risen suddenly, and the current was too strong for the little animals to swim across. "We must help them," Daisy exclaimed. "But how?" Ellie asked, scratching his head with his trunk. Daisy thought hard. "Ellie, you are strong, and I'm small and quick. If you will work together, you can save them." Ellie added into the river while Daisy flew to the island and to calm down frightened animals. "Don't worry, everyone. We have come to help you," Daisy said, reassuring them. Ellie used his long trunk to lift the animals into the bag one by one. Daisy guided them, making sure that they didn't slip or fall. Once all the animals were safely on Ellie's back, he carefully walked back to the riverbank. The little animal cheered and thanked Ellie and Daisy for saving them. "You are a hero, Ellie," Tiny Rabbit said. "And Daisy is the smartest duck we know," added a squirrel, as Ellie and Daisy rested under a big shady tree. "The adventure," Ellie said. "Daisy, I have learned something very important today. Strength alone isn't enough. Being clever and working together makes everything possible." Daisy smiled. "I have learned that even a small trick can make a big difference. We have a good friend like you by my side." From that day on, Ellie and Daisy become best of friends. They help each other and everyone in the forest, proving that true friendship is about supporting one another, no matter how big or small you are. The moral of the story is, true friendship means helping each other and working together. No matter how big or small you are, everyone has something special to offer. So kids, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. The bear's honey problem. In a lush green forest where tall trees swayed in wind and all the birds sang happily, there lived a bear named Benny. Benny was gentle and a friendly bear, but he had no one weakness. He absolutely loved honey. The golden sweet honey was his favorite treat. He could never get enough of it. Benny had a close friend named Harry, a wise old owl who often gave him advice. "Benny," Harry would say, "you must be careful not to eat too much honey. It's delicious, but you need to have some of for later and other animals." Benny would not, but the moment he saw honey comb dripping with the fresh honey, he would forget Harry's words. One sunny day, Benny was wandering through the forest when he noticed a honeycomb hanging from the tree. It was filled with golden honey shining in the sunlight. Benny's mouth watered and he couldn't resist the temptation. Oh, it was delicious, Benny said, licking his paws happily. As he was finishing the honey, he heard a soft buzzing sound. He looked up and saw a group of bees flying towards him. Their faces were filled with worry. Benny, one of the busy birds, said, "That honeycomb was for all of us. We worked hard to collect that honey. Now it's all gone." Benny felt a pang of guilt but quickly brushed it off. "I didn't mean to take it all," he said, trying to sound innocent. "I was just so hungry." The bees looked disappointed but flew away, deciding to work on another honeycomb. Benny, however, didn't feel completely right. The next day, as Benny was strolling through the forest, he noticed another honeycomb. This time, near the base of an old tree, he could see the golden honey oozing out. And once again, he couldn't resist. But this time, just as he reached for honey, he remembered the bees' sad faces, Harry words about sharing. "I don't want to upset anyone," Benny thought, but the smell of honey was too tempting, and he convinced himself it would be all right to take just a little piece of honey. So Benny scooped a big handful of honey and ate quickly. As he walked away, his stomach was full. He heard a buzzing bee sound behind him. "Benny," the bees called out, looking more even disappointed. "You have taken our honey again. We worked so hard to collect it." Benny tried to avoid their gaze, feeling his face hot with shame. "I just took a little," Benny said with a low voice. But even he spoke, and he realized that hadn't been truthful himself for bees. The bees looked at him and with sad eyes. "Benny, we know you love honey. You have taken more than you share. You need to be honest and think of others too." Benny felt trouble. He understood now that his actions were not fair to the bees, who had worked so hard to make the honey. Feeling ashamed, Benny decided to visit Harry, hoping his friend would help him and make everything right. "What should I do, Harry?" Benny asked, with filled of regret. "You need to apologize to the bees," Harry replied. "Tell them the truth and show them that you can change." Benny nodded, and realizing that honesty and kindness were the two ways to fix their mistake, Benny felt lightweight off his shoulder when he confessed. Next morning, Benny wanted to see the bees. The bees looked at each other and back at Benny and said, "It's okay, we forgive you, Benny. We know how much you love honey, but it doesn't mean that you ate everything." The bees buzzed with excitement and grateful for Benny to others' help. As Benny worked and felt a sense of joy of satisfaction, days passed and Benny kept his promise. He would still enjoy honey for time to time. One day, as Benny was resting by the hive, the bees surprised him with a special treat, a small amount of honeycomb made it just for him. "Thank you, Benny," they said, "for being honest, for helping us, and for sharing." Benny felt a warm glow in his heart. He accepted their gift. He realized that honesty, kindness, and sharing brought him closer to his friend that any amount of honey could ever could. So kids, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching.